Hello there folks, I'm Rokinath and I'm doing a quick and dirty video to encapsulate my previous stream into a few articulate minutes. Here goes. Now is the best time to play Redout 2. I'm serious. Nearly 2 years to the day after its release, this is the best time to get into the game. And as you might imagine, it's because of an update. An update that has been waited upon for so long that it might as well be the community's biggest meme. We don't have all the details on why it's taken this long, but neither is it important now. What's important is that this patch is exactly what was needed. I'm going to assume you, dear viewer, are coming in fresh if you've clicked on this video, or at least I hope you are. If you are already familiar with Redout 2, then skip to here for a breakdown of what's fresh. For those of you remaining, allow me to introduce you to one of my favourite racing games. Redout 2 is a blisteringly fast anti-gravity racer, one of a select few trying to fill the void left behind by the likes of Wipeout and F-Zero. Unlike some of its contemporaries though, developer 34 Big Things has tried to carve out its own niche rather than rigidly stick to its inspirations. Heck, even between the two Redout games themselves, there are a mountain of differences, but we're going to stay focused on Redout 2 here. So, what's good? The driving. Oh my god, the driving. If a racing game is going to get anything right, it should be this, yeah? Well, Redout 2 passes the class with straight A's. Over the course of a single lap, on any track, you'll be managing both of your boosts, which also affect your heat and health gauges, your steering, your strafing, and your pitch, just to carve out the optimal racing line. On paper, this doesn't sound terribly taxing, but in practice it's frenetic, especially when you factor in the ships, their respective strengths and weaknesses, and how each environment has its own set of rules to abide by. Racing in Cairo leads to overheating quicker. Racing on the moon has the opposite effect, as well as greatly diminished gravity, duh, and a loss of grip when you go rally racing on its surface. There's never a dull moment where you're on the boil in Redout 2, as there's always something to keep track of, and with the speed you'll be going at, it's usually multiple things at once. To help with processing all of this, Redout 2 is endowed with a lush soundscape. I'm not just talking about the music, which is certainly great, but I want to focus on the sound effects. More than just providing flavour for the ears, they also make for good auditory cues that, even if you've never played this game before, you'll know instinctively what they're trying to convey. Take a listen. So let's see how you did. Did you hear the warble of the magnets as they struggled for grip around the corners? How about the whine of the thrusters giving way to roaring flames as your heat gauge fills? The thrumming of nanobots as you regenerate health? Feedback is provided for every action in Redout 2, which really helps keep you apprised of what's going on while you make the sound barrier your bitch. More than just a feast for the ears however, Redout 2 also has plenty for the eyes to enjoy. While it loses the low poly art style of its predecessor, it hasn't lost its ability to portray larger than life environments and ships, each of which conveys its own character effortlessly. Fuji is the game's first environment, and it's bright, vibrant and free-flowing in its track design. One would even call it zen, which feels particularly appropriate given the location. Exion isn't actually hell, but it feels like it, with industry and primordial nature the two pillars you'll be crushed between for the entirety of your stay here. The ships really steal the show though. Each one has its own silhouette, and if not a backstory, a guiding philosophy that evokes a lot of personality in just a few words. Of course, if you don't like how they look, there are a wealth of customization options for every ship to truly make it your own. These are all built from the same base ship, but look radically different from one another. Stick your head in the Reddit Discord for a few minutes, and you'll find at least one player maining each team and flying nothing else. In Redout 1, I used to be an Acera player. Now, I can't say that, because there's at least 4 teams I'm bouncing between, because they're all a riot to drive and a treat to look at. So it looks good, it sounds good, it plays amazingly. So what's the catch? Well, until this week, I would have said many. But most of the problems I have had with this game have been ironed out. I'll go over the main changes, but a full list of patch notes can be found in the description. If you've been waiting for the patches I have, then you'll find there's some real good eating in here. Landing bugs. Regen bugs. Boost pads not registering. All of these have been run killers. Inconsistency is bad in any game, but in a racing game, where margins are razor thin, it's a death sentence. At the highest level of play, getting a world record time felt more like hitting a slot machine than playing a racing game, with how frequent these bugs were. Note the past tense there, because it's all gone, baby! This patch could have literally just been this and I would have been happy, but it keeps getting better. Over 200 unintentional and, frankly, ridiculous shortcuts have been removed, and this has prompted a leaderboard reset. The doors have now been blown wide open for everyone to make their mark in the game. Beyond this are numerous bug fixes and quality of life changes. Perhaps the most major addition this patch has brought is 3 new tracks. I say new, they're reinterpretations of classic tracks from Redout 1, but they are dead ringers for Redout 2's hyperactive brand of gameplay. Now, if I haven't sold you to give the game a try at this point, then maybe the fact it's currently free to keep on the Epic Games Store will. We're already seeing a surge of new players, and multiplayer has never been more busy, so what are you waiting for? If you're not a fan of that storefront, then it frequently goes on sale on Steam as well. If you do pick the game up, do stop by and say hi to the community on the official Redout Discord. I have neglected to mention one additional catch of Redout 2, and that is the skill ceiling is absurdly high, and the learning process can be brutal, despite the wealth of assist and difficulty options. This is something the community itself remedies. There's always someone happy to help answer any questions you may have, and beyond that, well, we just love to shoot the breeze. Whilst going to Mac too. Echolalia is such a beautiful Oh my goodness! I just got launched! What the With that, I've said my piece. I know as far as genres go, this is a niche within a niche. But if I've even convinced one of you to try it out, then my mission has been a success. Of course, you can also help this mission by spreading the good word around. At any rate, thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you on track soon.